And we head now to Fran's Film Room, presented by Ashley, and bring in the man himself, Fran Duffy, to talk about this game. Fran, how are you?
Fran.
What's going on, guys? How's everything?
What's going on?
What up, Fran?
How do you feel about everything you just watched? And how do you feel about Ross Tucker during this broadcast proclaiming himself the world's foremost expert on Eagles backups?
Multiple times.
Honestly, I should be asking you that question because I feel like you are the preeminent expert on Eagles backups.
Well, I can think of like 5 people who I would say are in the running. The professor. I mean, come on. Spit in my face, Ross, and tell me it's raining. What is going on here?
I mean, a friend of the show. I can confidently say Ross Tucker is a friend of the show. So I'm sure
we like Ross. We like everything he does. He's good to Josh and all that good stuff.
We can give him some some trash talk on that a little bit.
Unbelievable. Anyway, what did you make of what you saw out there today, Fran? And we talked earlier in the week. We were in favor of them benching the guys. Do you second guess that, having seen how it all played out today?
I mean, it's hard not to second guess it. I do think it was the right decision. It's more frustrating that this game was still there for the taking.
Yep.
Like that's the frustrating part of it, is that you still walk away saying, man, like they should have won this game. Like they had more talent on the field. It was just undisciplined. I agree with Vinny in terms of just like watching the guy. Like it was just uninspiring from that standpoint. But I think to me, like watching like penalty after penalty after, they ended up being double-digit penalties, right, guys? I mean, how many DPIs and defensive holdings on the back end?
Yeah, I mean, I will tell you, 9 penalties on the Eagles for 123 yards.
Look real lazy out there.
And look, we can laugh about it, but the AJ Dillon decision, it's mind blowing.
I'm not laughing.
If he had, I know, but I'm saying, like, I think that a lot of people might think that it's like a bit.
Yeah,
it's not a bit.
It's not a bit.
When you're looking at this, if AJ Dillon had 20 carries tonight, I'd be like, okay, like I get it. But he had 2 touches or whatever it was, and he got lined up at fullback on a play.
It's 2 or 3 snaps in the game.
What is the purpose? What is his value on the roster? Don't tell me it's the positivity bunny. Like there's got to be something else that he's bringing to the table. So to me, it
could have been Patrick Johnson or Gabe Hall, and then all of a sudden you've got a little bit of defensive line depth. Could have been Andre Sam, and then you don't have to throw Mac McWilliams out there, who you clearly don't want to be out there. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, and Ross Tucker called it out on the broadcast, was saying like this defensive line is gassed because they're used to playing with a deeper rotation. So you see like Jordan Davis and Nolan Smith and Jalyx Hunt out there like all sucking wind, and I'm like, man, like, because that's when the risk for injury happens, is when you're that fatigued. Man, that's a head scratching decision.
All right, what did you make of Tanner McKee?
Yeah, not his best day. I do think that there's the element of, who he's playing with and things like that, and that can lower the expectations there. But obviously he missed some throws. Some of it was the fact that he was under duress for a good portion of the night. He's not a quarterback that you want bodies in his face over and over and over again. So the fact that was the issue that he faced throughout the course of the night, that did not bode well. But there were certainly some throws that I'm sure he would like to have back. There was the one where he's got to set his feet and he threw it behind Britton Covey late in the game. And even then, like, look, that's a shallow crossing route on 1st and 10, but that's a drive starter. Like, all right, you get a little bit of momentum and get things rolling. But I do think there were some throws that he certainly would like to have back.
Yeah, I mean, throwing the final pass out of bounds is very funny. Like,
right, it's very upsetting to see Josh Johnson outplay Tanner McKee. Josh Johnson's my man, and he cool dude, great dude. Man. He's been in the league for, he obviously brings value to the league. It's hard to make but we talk about Tanner McKee. Like, it's just.
I mean, he did have McLaurin and Debo just getting held. Like,
just throw it up, just throw the ball up.
I think since we have started, Jacorian Bennett got flagged again.
It's just damn.
Yeah, Fran.
I did not, Bo. I did not bring the Tanner McKee interception to the end of the first half. I was trying to find they showed the all 22 on the broadcast, but that did not make its way into social, so I couldn't find that to grab some screen grabs of that. I have a little feeling in the back of my mind that might have been a bad route. Or the wrong route from Jahan Dotson on that play. It looked like it was a version potentially. Look, it's one of two concepts. They either ran a double post route in which Dotson made the right route and McKee made the wrong throw.
Right.
Or Dotson was supposed to run a dig and it was supposed to be kind of a version of a dagger concept where he was supposed to run the dig route from the backside instead, and that's where McKee kind of threw it. There was a route underneath it that typically would be run with dagger, so I do have a kind of a sneaking suspicion that Dotson may have run the wrong route on that play, and McKee put it to the spot where he thought his receiver was going to be. But that was a throw that I wish I would have liked to be able to break that down here on the show, but unfortunately couldn't get the right angle.
Tanner went off on Coop. He ran the wrong route. He said, "What are you doing?"
Well, I thought it was Latu.
Was it Latu?
I thought it was Latu.
He was yelling at somebody. He
Could
was
have been
pissed.
wrong. Yeah. I mean, he wasn't happy about the Cooper penalty either, which that is fair. Although the refs today were also playing in a Week 18 game. One good throw he did make, and we talked about this when he does have good receivers on the field, was the big catch to DeVonta to get to DeVonta over 1,000 yards. Why don't you break that bad boy down for us?
Yeah, this one, and Lindsay, this is going to be DeVonta 1. So this is a play where they come out, it's 3rd and 1, and it's a condensed formation. So you've got everybody tight in between the hash marks. You see, that's a really tight formation there, and Washington is going to respond in kind in this kind of situation. We saw that a couple weeks ago, how often we're going to match with base defense, base personnel, and we're going to load the box. We're not going to let you run the ball on us. And so the Eagles come in, tight bodies, and they say, all right, we're going to bring everybody in as if we're going to run, but we're actually going to throw out of this look. And so if you go to the next shot here, you can see that Tanner McKee gets the snap, he drops back. DeVonta Smith kind of slow plays this route. And again, because it's 10 guys close to the line of scrimmage, that means it's just one single high safety. So this is going to end up being a corner route. If we go to the next shot here, Lindsay, this is going to end up being a corner route where DeVonta initially kind of stutters and slow plays it as if he's going to block, and then he's going to take off, run towards the middle of the field, and then break back towards the sideline. The goal is keep the safety in the middle of the field, and you can see that corner, he's late to react. He thinks that this might be a run, so now he kind of reacts to DeVonta early on, and he ends up being a little bit late on this throw, and now you can get to see that if we go to the last shot here, Tanner just lays this ball up, and DeVonta does what he does best. You see the body control and the finishing ability down the field. So he's able to break 1,000 yards. Obviously, that was the goal coming in, was for him to break 1,000 yards. They did this back in his rookie season in 2021 as well. He and A.J. Brown, the only duo in Eagles history to ever hit 1,000 yards. Both guys hit 1,000 yards in the same season, and they've now done it 3 years in a row. So good on DeVonta being able to hit that milestone here and have a jacket on by the end of the first quarter.
There you go. And you know what? We can complain, but that scene there after he gets that catch, and Nick is talking to him, AJ comes over, they're like, that was great. That was fun. Good for him.
Bo, be honest, did you hold your breath when he hit the ground? I did.
Yeah, but he always hits the ground.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, but it's like that Allen Iverson effect. Like back in the day, he used to hit the wood so hard, but to hit the ground so hard. But
Vinny, we on the show, on the Anthony Gargano show on Friday with Bill, we did some Philly sports to wrestler comparisons. You know what I have for DeVonta?
Ooh.
DeVonta is an unbelievable technician. Knows the space better than anybody. DeVonta is the excellence of execution.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes. You like that?
I like that.
And a guy who is you can tell that he can be a star, but this is like early. This is like Intercontinental Champion Bret Hart before Hogan leaves.
No.
Hogan's AJ.
I love it.
When you know what? I believe that DeVonta, if given the ball, can be the number one guy.
I love it. Yeah, I like. That's actually a great comparison. He's not gonna really say too much. Just cut his little promo, do his job, and go
Best
home.
there is, best there was, best there ever will be.
Yeah, I like that.
They wanted him to get right out of the game after he hit that ground, though.
He did. He was ready to go.
Get out.
All right. Speaking of awesome plays, Fran, let's talk about Jalyx Hunt. 3 interceptions for edge guy is insane. It's no Eagle has done that in recent history. Obviously, no one's had more than one. What did you see on? And this one was the most like, this is him tapping into his safety background that we've seen of the three.
Yeah, no question. I honestly, I want to look because doesn't he also lead the team in sacks?
Yep. He got six
you're
sacks,
right.
3 interceptions.
You lead the team in sacks.
Last
and
person to do
interceptions.
that was Seth Joyner.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's some Seth Joyner stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome. So let's take a look at this one. So this will be Lindsey Jalyx 1, and basically what you're going to see here, the Eagles or the Commanders come out. They're actually in 11 personnel, it looks like, but for the Eagles choose to match this set in their base defense. So you see 5 guys down the line of scrimmage. You got 2 off-ball backers, 4 DBs on the field on 2nd and long, and you see that this is Deebo Samuel coming in motion from left to right. Now, because you've got those 5 guys out in the field, unless you're going to blitz all 5, which the Eagles will do from time to time, unless you're going to rush all 5 of these guys, one of them's got to drop. And so you've got Josh Uche at the top, you've got Jalyx Hunt down at the bottom, and it ends up being Jalyx Hunt that's going to drop in coverage. If you go to the next shot, you can see Jalyx drops off into the flat. He's got eyes on Deebo Samuel. He can't let him get outside because he's dropping as a curl flat player and underneath zone coverage. And so he's got to be wider than Deebo Samuel. You can't let him get outside of him. So he's got eyes on Deebo Samuel. He's going to track him out towards the sideline. Josh Johnson off the play fake. He's looking down the field, but that's taken away. Whatever the coverage was on the back end, did a good job against that vertical concept. Now, up front with that 4-man rush, the Eagles are actually running a long 3-man stunt. If we go to the next shot here, you can see that Uche, he's slanting inside. Byron Young is gonna loop around outside, and he's gonna loop around the defensive tape. So it's a 3-man game on the inside. And Uche, he's gonna get home to try and impact Josh Johnson. Then Byron Young is gonna get there right in the quarterback's face. So if you go to the next shot, you can see that Josh Johnson, very late after he doesn't like what he sees downfield, he's like, all right, I'm gonna go to my dump off. I'm gonna go hit this to the flat to Deebo Samuel. But Jalyx Hunt is there the whole way. Did an outstanding job. We can go to the last shot. Jalyx Hunt was sitting there, laying away, and the ground replay, like from the you call it from the podium camera, like in the end zone, that just had it was basically ISO'd on Jalyx. I mean, you just see like him break on the ball. You mentioned it, Bo, like the tapping into that former college safety in the Ivy League at Cornell, breaking on that ball, diving interception. Just an unbelievably athletic play for a guy with his size, with his length. Just an awesome play from Jalyx Hunt.
All right. Now, if we transition to not awesome plays, let's break down the play that Devon and I talked about earlier. The game-winning touchdown run by Josh Johnson. What is Kelee Ringo doing?
All right, so let's look at what he's done. So, to me, when I'm looking at this play, this is a classic case of, and again, I'm not making excuses for him because he's now with his year. This is year 4 for Kelee. He's been in the league long enough, but this is a classic case of like you're thinking so fast that the game, or you're thinking so slowly that the game is happening too fast for you. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing here on this play. Lindsey, this is Kelee 1. You're down on the goal line. It's 3rd and goal. You see Kelee Ringo here at the bottom of your screen. Now on this play, if you go to the next shot, he's the force player on this play. That means he is responsible for that outside gap, that furthest gap outside if this ball is handed off. If it's a run play, that's his responsibility, is that gap. Now, the ball is not handed off, obviously. Josh Johnson keeps this, and he rolls off to his left. So, in my opinion, Kelee is like, okay, is it run or pass? Is it run or pass? Is it run? You see this at linebacker, you see this nickel corner, you see the safety, and then at times, especially in a situation like this in a confined area, you see this with a corner where is it run or pass? I have to key and diagnose this quickly, and then I've got to figure out, what's my run responsibility? What's my pass game responsibility? Right away, if we go to this shot, he's trying to be a football player.
He reads it so well.
I gotta get out to the flat. I gotta defend here against Josh Johnson. But then he's like, oh crap, it's a pass. I'm responsible for technically for the deep third here. And so that's why he turns around, because he's like, run, pass. Oh man, I gotta get back and make the play. So that to me, like, and we praised, it was literally last week, Zach Bond, and it wasn't the same situation, but was kind of caught, and we said, like, in that no man's land on that 4th and 1 stop down on the goal line against Josh Allen, where it's like, oh, do I go after him or do I stay in coverage? Do I go? Do I stay? And he played it perfectly. Instinctive football player, like football player, go make a football play. This one obviously goes the other way for the Eagles.
And I definitely thought the instinctive football play of the football player was first doing what he was doing, was at first reading it, attack it, and just hope that he's getting the help that, as it's all funneling that way, that his teammates have his back, which they did. Because again, Fran, when you talked about he turns around, his teammate's right there with him though, with the receiver. And I understand that this is a quick read and react, and you turn, and Jalen Johnson is already going downhill. So you're probably going to lose at that point. But he had already retreated in the way that he did, which was so frustrating. And look, it all added up to that particular play after all the bad things that happened to lead up to that moment. But as all the things just started to crumble, that was the final one that we see out there on the field.
Listen, that's one of those, keep shooting. Just shoot your shot.
Yep.
It's going to be what it's going to be at the end of that.
Turn your brain off.
Yeah, dude, you already gave up some big play.
Yeah.
Just shoot your, go get it. Shoot your shot. That right there would have been a game-saving thing. We wouldn't even be talking about the interception like the way we talking about it right now. I mean, the pass interference, the way we're talking about it.
Especially if you hold them to a field goal and you give yourself an opportunity. Yeah.
No, the truth, Fran, is that we will sort of wipe this game from our memory pretty quickly and turn our attention to the matchup next weekend. What are your early impressions in your mind of this matchup between the Eagles and Niners?
Look, this defense for San Francisco has been one of the league's worst in the second half of the year. I mean, the injuries have absolutely taken their toll. It's not a good unit. That said, we've said that about a lot of the defenses that the Eagles' offense has faced down the stretch during that same span of time. You know, when they played against the Raiders, they played against Washington. We talked about the opportunity they had against Buffalo, and they haven't been able to run it efficiently over a four-quarter stretch. And the pass game has been a roller coaster for much of the season, and we've talked about this ad nauseum. So I don't look at this as like, oh, man, this is a great opportunity here for the Eagles to going up against the San Francisco defense. Now, you asked me on the show on Friday, what's the best kind of defense for them to face?
Yeah.
This is, of the options available, this was the best defense for them to face, in my opinion. Like schematically, like personnel-wise, this is the best matchup
because
for the Eagles offense.
Static pre-snap.
Yeah, you kind of know what you're going to get, but I don't have, it's just, what offense is going to show up? Is it going to be an offense that's been better than what we've seen in the second half of the year? On the other side of it, I'm excited to break this one down, and I'm excited to dig into the X's and O's of Vic Fangio versus Kyle Shanahan. That offense has played well, despite the fact that they don't have a title. It's not the star power we saw from 4 years ago when you had Debo at the peak of his powers with Brandon Ayuk on the upswing, and you had George Kittle in his prime, and McCaffrey just got traded for McCaffrey is it's almost like a ticking time bomb, unfortunately. And then you look at Juszczyk, he's not quite the same player. Kittle has been banged up. Pearsall has been in and out of the lineup, and he's their number one receiver. Jawan Jennings has been banged up for much of the year. Ayuk is obviously not on this team right now. So it's not the same from a talent standpoint. I will say that Brock Purdy is better now than he has been in years past. And Kyle Shanahan is Kyle Shanahan. He's one of the best schemers in football. So I do think that this is going to be a really fun X's and O's battle. It's going to be a matter of, can the Eagles offense keep pace well enough? I expect the Eagles, I don't expect San Francisco to come to town and put up, 28 points or 35 points. I would be surprised if that was the final outcome. I do think though, it's going to be a test to see if this Eagles offense is up to the challenge.
Well,
go ahead.
What as you run down the 4 years ago 49ers with all those names, I immediately go to the current Eagles offensive players, the skilled players of Brown, Smith, Barkley, and Goddard, to your point, of all of them. And San Francisco's defense, they have to stop them now. And they're coming across country. They're going to be in a tough environment and could, as you just said, maybe they can't put up the 24, 28 points and keep up with the Eagles. Now it's just a matter of fact of, can the Eagles, like we saw last playoff run, turn it up when they get to this part of the year in January when everything matters most.
Yeah, we've been keeping the door open for that
possibility
that just, hey, you know what, it's week 19 and we've got our identity now, guys. I don't know. You hope that that's the case if you're an Eagles fan, but I think at the end of the day, I right now have my doubts if that's going to happen, just because I feel like we would have seen that. But if you Frankenstein what we've seen over the last, we'll say 4 or 5 weeks, and say all right, they take the QB run game from the shotgun and some of the empty stuff and the under center play action, and they get some chunk plays, and Lane Johnson returns, and Dallas Goedert has a week of rest, and Saquon Barkley has a week of rest, and AJ Brown has a week of rest. all right, let's roll. Like, is that enough to get them to 24 points, to get them to 27 points? And if you do that, I feel a lot better about their prospects to win not just this game, but the next round and potentially the round after that. Like that, to me, then they're cooking with gas. I just don't know if that's in them. I think I'm in wait and see mode right now.
All right, Fran. Well, we look forward to talking to you about the matchup on the PHLY Eagles show this week. I think the schedule is going to be Wednesday and Thursday for you, so we look forward to that. Thank you for breaking this down. We'll talk to you later.
What should we do? Should we do offense, the Eagles offense versus the San Francisco defense on Wednesday, or should we go opposite? How are we starting this?
Well, what do you need more time for? Probably the good version, right?
Yeah, probably. Well, the thing is, I'll probably be more excited. Also, I'll start that one first is the only thing.
Okay. You tell me. You can lead the way.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll go Eagles defense, 49ers offense first.
On Wednesday.
We'll do that Wednesday.
All right. We look forward to that. That'll do it for Fran's Film Room presented by Ashley.